Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today at today's webinar. I'm joined by one of the folks from Site Search 360 to talk about a new UI that we'll be rolling out within the Duda platform. So yeah, let's jump straight in and go to the next slide here. Sweet. By way of brief introduction, hi, my name is Everett Morgan. I am the Partner Success Engineer here at Duda, and I work with our app partners to integrate and further develop integrations into the App Store. I'm joined by Alessia from Site Search. Alessia, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yep, sure. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining or watching this webinar. And my name is Alessia. I'm the Search Excellence Lead at Site Search 360, helping make the best out of our search solution. And yeah, I'll be walking you through the new interface today.
Awesome. Cool. And next slide here. Kind of just a brief overview of the agenda for today. So we're going to go briefly over who Site Search 360 is, just kind of an initial introduction if you haven't seen their application or heard of them. We want to give you some brief background there. Next, we'll jump in briefly into some benefits for agencies, specifically on why you want to leverage Site Search 360 on your client websites, what value it provides, and just why should you use it. And then the majority of the demo or the majority of the webinar today is going to be a live demo from Alessia, kind of walking through the new UI and showing you common use cases that come from the old UI that have been transformed using the new interface. So kind of a jam-packed webinar today, and Alessia is going to take us through it.
Sounds good. So starting right with a quick reminder of who we are at Site Search 360. So we are a team of search enthusiasts with quite a bit of experience in just building and improving search for various clients across the globe, e-commerce and just educational, informational blogs, just like all domains of search. We are based in Dresden, Germany. The team is international though, so yeah, we speak your language. Or if we don't yet, well, then we'll be soon, hopefully. So maybe a quick note of about the benefits for the agencies specifically is that as far as I know, the Duda built-in search widgets, right? Search solutions have been focusing on separate, like specific things like I don't know, a product search or just like a blog only search. What we are doing is basically bringing like a cross-domain, cross-platform search to you, so you can see, you can index your blog and products and PDFs, but also your YouTube channel videos, and kind of leverage all your content and present it to the searcher in the best way possible, because you will have your client will have all like the entire control over what search results are shown for specific queries, or what's boosted, what's included, what's excluded from search. So this is a really great way of making sure that everything you've produced, or your clients' content and product teams have produced, then gets easily searchable and benefits your clients' end users. So we do have a native integration with, thanks to the Duda's native widget. It's super easy to set up, right? Like there's no code experience necessary. We're using all the native controls, like to adjust the fonts and colors and sizes of the search box. And that's probably one of my favorite parts, that you just tweak it, you'll see the live preview, and then it's nice and beautiful, already integrated to the site. We do all the behind the scenes work on our end, right? So we grab all the content that's available on the Duda site, and we make sure to already like clean it up, like remove some headers and footers and repetitive bits of information, so that the indexed content is clean. And the cleaner the indexed content is, the cleaner your search results are. So there are always ways to fine tune this even further, but we do already have like a dedicated crawling rules for the Duda customers. So that's pretty cool. Search analytics are a great way to monitor how your search is performing and what the searchers are actually interested in, what they type, what they if they're actual queries, if there's some like dead ends. And obviously we have ways to avoid those dead ends that we'll be covering next. So the search is mobile ready, accessibility conscious, like a screen reader user comes to your site, they would also be able to use the search widget and actually navigate to the search result and get the information they need. We are definitely all about redundancy in terms of the server infrastructure, so that the search service is always up and running. We have a live status page. It's 99.9% uptime, and it's actually I think insured, so you're all covered here. And one of the coolest, last but not least, coolest things about the Duda integration is that once you hit republish, like you've added a page, you've made some changes, you deleted something, you republish your site, your search results are automatically updated as well, right? So you don't need to think about, whether this or that page got updated or not. It happens simultaneously. And maybe let me just open our test site and switch to the live demo. I think you can see it now, right? So the Site360 app is available under App Store. You just type 360. So obviously we've already pre-installed it here. Well, maybe let's start with this quick demonstration. So this is our demo store for this webinar. And to load all results, I can just type the asterisk, and you will see that we have some tabs here configured. So basically, we've already set up some content grouping. So they're products. So these are just product-related pages. There's some blog materials, and there's also the YouTube video that is coming from the Duda channel, but obviously it can be your own channel, and some other sort of uncategorized pages that are shown here. The price slide filter has also been set up. I'll show you how in a second, and I'll actually show you how to make it only visible for the product results instead of all these tabs. Right, that could be one of the questions that I foresee. And the last thing is the sorting dropdown. So that's also something we have set up with thanks to the Site360 app. So you can sort by price, and well, we're starting with most expensive first here, but this can be easily changed as well. So back to the app, and once you've installed it and opened it, you will land on our dashboard. So if you've already made some searches, you will also see your search analytics table populated. You will notice a drastic change compared to our old interface. We've put some effort into making it just more user-friendly, but also like more informative. So you'll get all the important stats up front. So the total indexed entries, that can be pages, videos, blog posts, like how many searches happened within the specific date range, right? So that you can always look it up for a month. By default, it's just the last 7 days. How many searches happen per session? And sorry, that's the three searches per session. That means like within, so the same user basically types like at least 3 different queries on average. So that could be an interesting thing to look at. Right, and then actually this 7% is actually how many out of all your site visits, how many of those site visits ended up, site visitors ended up interacting with the search. And you get a list of popular queries and some zero result queries that we're going to take a look at in a second, how to like what can be done here to avoid those dead ends, the popular results, and yeah, some further, like you can drill down into those old queries and see how every specific query performs. So that's about the new dashboard.
Yeah, just to
yeah,
just to kind of jump in here, one thing I'm really excited about, and I think is a huge benefit from this new interface kind of uplift or optimization, is that if anyone's familiar with the previous dashboard and what that looked like, it was very difficult to decipher what the numbers and what the data was telling you, let alone kind of have a conversation with your end business about the best strategies on how to optimize search and surface particular products. This makes it much easier for you to kind of pull this up. Maybe you bring your client in and you guys can collaborate on, hey, we're seeing these kinds of searches, or we're seeing these frequent zero result searches. I think one cool thing, right, is if you see a lot of frequent zero result searches for a particular product that you're currently not offering, that's obviously within your vertical. That may be something for you to kind of go in and start offering on your site. So I think it's really cool that you can now kind of have those leading indicators and have those conversations with your clients more directly than having to decipher and then regurgitate back to them. So
yeah,
it's a huge benefit.
Sure. Yeah, that's we realized that it needed some work, so it got its attention and its time in this release. So just kind of to give a quick maybe high-level overview of what the app is capable of and what all these sections are. I'll quickly mention like a couple, like just say a couple words about every section. So crawler, right? Crawler or crawling or indexing is the main step, is right. Like it's how we get the content that is returned in search results. And with Duda, it's very straightforward. We just get it directly from your Duda site. So everything that is not like, unless you really went and decided that this specific page should not be shown in search results, all your published search page, all your published Duda pages end up crawled and visible in the search results. And you can always like test the sitemap and see how many URLs are getting indexed from your site. But then you can also kind of go like a level deeper, right, and say like, okay, for the search results only, right, for just my search visitors, well, so sorry, like the visitors of my site who interact with the search, I think like the generic blog page, right, the blog overview page is not necessary, so we can just kind of blacklist it so it's skipped from the results. And also like sometimes it's really worth kind of skipping the categories so that you focus on showing the end results, like the products, rather than the categories that would then link to the products and kind of make your search visitors, your site visitors click a few extra times, so like make some unnecessary clicks. So, these are the settings that help you control what ends up being used in search results. Apart from the crawling that is connected with whatever you do on whatever content you publish on Duda or within the Duda editor, you can also come up with just a more or less random URL list, right? So, for example, the PDFs that you have and you want to you want them to come up in search results can be added here. So you can just kind of do one by one, or if you already have like a list of curated content URLs, you just add them like here in one block, and then save and reindex for them to also appear in the results, and they'll be there. And YouTube, as I mentioned, is one of the, so basically both the URL list and, no, I think the YouTube was available, but the URL list and the PDF specifically are a new thing. So you can, go ahead and play around with it and let us know your feedback if yeah, that's actually a useful thing for you. But as for YouTube, that has been available for the homes level plans. And just like to demo how it works, you would provide your YouTube channel ID. I mean, when you're the channel owner, you would always kind of have that available in your YouTube account. And we would load all the playlists that you can specify, like which playlist you want to include in the search results. So you can even filter them by title or, well, like how old the video is, or how like recent it should be, or maybe only the top viewed one should be shown. So there are a few filtering options here, and then you just add them to your search index, which is a collection of, again, like all the indexed content that gets used and returned in search results. And yeah, and that's how you control what search results actually are on your site. So moving next.
I think, sorry, just to jump in.
Yeah, sure.
I think one cool thing to show is the ability to crawl another site, right? So being able to ask site search to crawl, maybe an external blog or some older blog.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, let's use the Site Search 360 blog for the sake of this example, and just say, okay, I want to add this URL. Save. And yeah, one important thing is that once you click this thing here, right, it will know that like it needs to be re-indexed, means re-updated automatically as well. So well, like you've tested it out, you know that these are the URLs I want to see in my search results, and you want them to be updated automatically. Just make sure you have that checked, and you'll see this green icon that shows you what's used. And then if you go to the index, that's where you can browse everything, like every single URL that exists in your search index. And so, for example, right, let's re-index this first. And then we can see, for example, that the category pages, if I look up category, are skipped because we've said they should be skipped under crawler settings. And then the blog. Okay, sorry about the. Oh, sorry, search. Oh, right, because that's a good use case, because I said that everything ending at /blog should be blacklisted, and then I provided the URL. Okay, so then let's just pick a handy guide to unit control panel. Why not? That's actually a useful one for our webinar. And go back to the URL list, update it, save. Actually, you don't even need to go and re-index the entire thing. If you're just adding a page, like an ad hoc kind of request, something has been just published and you want to make sure it's available in your search results, you can just scroll down under the index tab and use this index single URL field to immediately add it to your search results. So now it's here. Yep, the handy guide. Let's quickly also check it in the preview. Right, okay, the thumbnail didn't come through, but that can also be tweaked, because, well, it's not a Duda page, so it wasn't optimized to grab the right image. But yeah, we can cover it as well. I will actually, right, the plan is to record like a more technical and in-depth, like kind of more code-specific training session that would be available on the Duda among the Duda materials. So if certain things that are more technical aren't covered in this webinar, just let us know so that we include it in the next training session. Yeah. So maybe, yeah, I'll just keep going with just a couple of words about every section, and then we'll switch to maybe questions, right? And more like use case-based examples. Okay, so data structuring is basically how we index your pages, and it's basically kind of a mass of text usually, and some information, bits of information within your pages are probably more important than the others. For example, it's a common practice to like show the price or the SKU if you have some products, or maybe the brand or the category, and to kind of make it stand out, you can set up data points, and a couple of data points are set up automatically already for every Duda account, and then you can build up build upon it and expand those data points that can be then used for filtering, or just for, like, as you might have noticed, if I search something here and I land on the product page, I see this price here, right? So this is the price data point that I've set up, and you will see it. You can see it here. So for price, we are grabbing some element that is displaying it with the dollar sign, right? But then you might have noticed that I have price twice, and the difference is that well, this is kind of a textual data point because it does have the dollar sign, right? So it's not only numeric, but when we want to use that as a slide filter, so you kind of just slide between the two value points, between two numbers, or well, a range of numbers. You want it to be a number. You don't want you don't care about the dollar sign anymore. And so we are kind of reusing the same setup, but with a different data point format. And that allows us to use this data point for filtering purposes. As you see here, I can even say like in dollars. So this is a range type of filter, and it's using this numeric price data point. And instead of showing it in every result group, right, as I said, let's limit it to products only and update. Let me quickly check if we need another index. Yeah, we just needed to. Oh no, we don't. There we go. So on blog, for example, it disappears, and videos and other, but on the products and, well, all results, because they include the products as well, the slider is visible. You see that the filter name has been updated, and you can now, yeah, say that, okay, if I'm buying the TV, it should be below $400, and yeah, so that obviously helps your searchers or your clients, customers, to filter out the results and navigate them better. So that was kind of like more than 2 words, but the data points are really one of the key things that allow this flexibility of how like different data is presented and used for filtering or sorting as well. And you see that, for example, I have, yeah, let's cover the sorting because it's already been pre-set up, but we said that, well, you might want to say not price, but something like cheapest first, right? So then in that case, we want to have this ascending order, so lowest to highest. Update, save, and now if we go back to our preview, just reload the page. Load all results again. So by default, it would go to relevance, but if you say cheapest first, now we are starting with the cheapest TV set that we have, right? And then we can still limit the results. And now you will see well, then that will basically override the sorting, right? Because you have specified as like the searcher has specified this specific price range they're interested in. So back to data points, because there are two more tabs here. And result grouping are those tabs that that we see. So, well, that we see here, if we reset all the products blog videos, right? Those are the tabs that, so yeah, you can have some like custom tabs like FAQs. I don't think that has been set up yet, but you can kind of move them around or just let the automatic order take place. So that means like the most relevant, whatever the group has the most relevant results be shown first. And then for the products, for example, if I want to display a specific data point, like price in this case, I would apply this here, right? So then let's actually apply the brand as well, because we have it set up, and why not? There we go. Update. Okay, and now what the interesting and useful thing that shows up is this bell, the notification center bell, and it says reindexing recommended, right? Because some settings wouldn't require reindexing, means like updating, like an update of all your search results, while other settings, like some changes made to the result groups, would. And so this would be a kind of a reminder for you to just quickly run an update so that your latest changes are reflected in search results. So you see the progress bar, it goes rather quick. We don't have that many pages. If we go back to the search preview and type things here, we now see the brand as well. And if you wanted to reuse the brand as a filter on the side, right? If I wanted to say, okay, I want to, allow to actually filter by brand. Ever, do you know what to do? Maybe that would be a quick guide me through.
Yeah.
So
if we go to filters and sorting on the left, and we are in filters, so we'll want to click create new filter there. And then let's do probably multiple choice. We'll name this brand. And then results which match at least one, and then obviously we'll click that brand checkbox there. And then let's scroll down, and we'll want to kind of narrow it down to products.
Yep. It'll also show you that we need a new reindex. Notification bell is a little slow in this case, but let's just not wait for it and go and reindex. And while it's reindexing, I just wanted to point out that the search preview within the app is a great thing to test different queries to see what the results look, the groups, and etc. And the beauty of it is that neither of the queries you enter here are logged, or so basically they aren't tracked or aren't logged. They don't count across your search quota, but they also don't skew your search analytics, right? So the difference is that if you're really testing it out on your site, every query would be recorded because it's running live. Whereas here, it's like a sandbox environment for you to really test everything out, and then make sure that you can be sure that that will be the case on your site as well. And now let's try again all results, and there we go. We have the brand filter, so it's a multiple choice. Samsung gets us 2 results. So now we both show it in the snippet, right? Because we've applied it under result groups, products. We've applied the brand data point, and we're using it as a filter here on the side. We can use multiple ones, and you can remove one or all of them, and it will automatically bring the correct results.
I think that was a great overview just of those sections. Those are kind of the highest touch points, I imagine, within the product. I think now what would be useful would be to kind of just jump into some basic questions that someone might have, coming from the old interface. So let's go ahead and get into that. So first off, how can someone set up, kind of a custom result to show up, first in line for a specific query? So let's say, people are searching for VR and I want to kind of have the PlayStation 5 come up as the first result. How could we do that?
Yeah, no, thanks. Yeah, that's a good question, and it's also bringing us to the next section of the app interface, which is called Result Manager, and you can do exactly what you said with a result mapping editor here. So there's a trigger, which is basically the search term or search phrase. There are a few conditions that you can specify. So it has to be an exact match. So for example, like VR. If someone types VR and you want to customize the result set that is shown for this query, you basically leave this action here, and then you scroll down and you have the preview of the natural results, but that you can modify and add other things. For example, create a custom result, which would look like a normal result, but you can really build it from scratch. Give it a title, set an image. Obviously, you link to a page. Write some content here for the result snippet. It can even be a PDF or a video, or it can have custom HTML code if you want it to look different, like a banner, like stand out. That's also possible. So we do have here, you see custom results. So this is kind of your custom result library. And for the VR promo, we are going to use this preset custom result, insert it. You see there's already an image, title, and then we also want to just move it around to make sure it's highlighted at the very top, and save. And we can go straight into the search preview and try out our query. And there we go, right? So that's the custom result. Looks just like it looks exactly like the other results. So like the customer wouldn't have noticed that this was a custom insert. But as I said, with some custom HTML, you can really make it stand out and grab the attention if needs be.
Awesome. No, thank you for that. Yeah, that's super useful. Especially if you have a new product line you're trying to push out to your customer base, or just something you want to drive more traffic towards. This is super useful. Sweet. Moving on to kind of the dictionary section and what we just talked about, the kind of search rewrites. When is it best to use one versus the other? Like, when would I use a dictionary, kind of doing the synonyms versus using a kind of a rewrite? What's the best use case here for that?
Right. So yeah, that's a great question. So synonyms are bidirectional, right? So that's a way to virtually enrich your pages that say, for example, that mention, I don't know, iPhone, right? If you want to also have every page that has iPhone return be returned for Apple, right? Whether or not Apple is mentioned on that iPhone page. Maybe the content team just hasn't thought of adding Apple because it's just self-explanatory. But yeah, for the search, you see that people are probably like typing Apple, and then they might not get all of the pages that you would like them to. So you kind of add those synonyms in, right? So Apple and iPhone aren't usually synonymous, but for your search experience, they should be, right? They could be. So then you would type iPhone and Apple, and add and reindex, and that would immediately have a yeah, there we go. This is our notification helper. That would immediately take effect on the search results. The rewrites, for example, if I go back to the dashboard and I see some 0 result queries, and I see some like product weird spelling mistakes, or yeah, maybe even like something that the user typed and you just really don't have anything for Mario, right? Like that could be an indication for your content team to create something for it. But you can also overwrite it and maybe redirect them to a similar product, or yeah, like Mario coming soon, whatever. But for the product, what would make most sense is to click on this cogwheel, and every time, like if someone else mistypes this product as this way, you can say, okay, no, I know what you meant. You probably meant just product, and save. Right, and that's kind of a synonym, but you don't want to enrich all your product pages with this weird spelling, right? You just want to make sure that this weird spelling ends up directing your searches to the right thing. And yeah, if I try this weird thing now, I kind of invisibly, well, this rewrite is happening invisibly, and I end up getting the product results. So there's no disruption in the searcher experience. You just, yeah.
Yeah, you can even see product bolded in the description there, where site search found the rewrite. Yeah.
Exactly. And back to the Mario use case or dog, you can also use this redirect to URL, right? So if there's like a special page that like a promotion or just a landing page where you're talking about something that has to do with this query, just type that URL, and it will skip the search results altogether. So the user types in Mario. I guess we can try it with our handy guide. Why not? Save. And if in the search preview, I now type Mario. See, oh, we're opening our search blog as we have set up that redirect. Yeah, so these are the result manager main features, and I think it's a very powerful tool, right, to take over the search results and what's presented, what's like how your searches are faced with, with the pages that you want to promote. Yeah, and if there are any zero result queries, you can fix them on the fly like this.
Awesome. Thank you. That makes sense. So yeah, you essentially use a rewrite to try and correct, a zero-based search result, or try and point them in the right direction. And then dictionary kind of synonyms would be used to, group, synonymous topics or relatively similar, products or pages. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, well, I think the only section we haven't covered is the search settings, and these are just kind of the more, yeah, just some things that make sense. Like, do you want to use like the automatic spell check? How fuzzy you want the search results to be? Yeah, should like if you have any PDF settings, should we use the like, should we show the generic PDF icon and maybe take the picture of the entire first page with the thumbnail? Could be cool. If there are any IPs that needs to be blacklisted. So these are kind of the general search related settings that yeah, depend on the use case.
Awesome. Yeah, and then one last question I think we'll end on is, when should someone use a result group versus a filter? I think it's very important to highlight the best usage of those two things.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. So as you can see, the result groups by default appear as tabs. And obviously, if you have something like, even, what do we have here? Like 8 or 9 brands, like having them, and let's say like you want to have a tab per brand, you need to consider that, those, just the space basically, not only on desktop, but they're also the mobile users. Well, actually, for the mobile users, the experience would be optimized by default. So let me quickly switch to this view. Let's do some iPhone. So we are on this mobile version of it. So I was saying, right, so if I switch to this mobile version, the results groups will no longer be shown as tabs, but they will be stacked like this in the dropdown. So in this way, you don't have to worry if like the screen size doesn't allow to show all the tabs. They are automatically collapsed. And also we have a special filtering view optimized for mobile devices. But however, imagine having like, I don't know, a dozen or I don't know, 20, 30 things here. That would be quite overwhelming, right? So, and if you have a bunch of filter options, it would like brand and then maybe, I don't know, the anything else, right? The category, some tags, or like if it's in stock or out of stock, or whatever you want to use here, it would make more sense to show them as filters. So basically, if you have like the top high level 4 or 5, maybe up to 7 groups that you want to highlight in this immediate search view, right? So when you just need to reopen the app here. In the search preview, you see that those are products, right? They aren't like Samsung, Apple, whatever. It's like a generic kind of a grouping. And blog is also like this high level grouping, versus filters are getting more specific. And as I said, it can be brand, it can be price, it can be category, it can be the stock, out of stock and stock status, anything you want. So they kind of serve different purposes. This is really about refining the results, whereas this is providing a quick way of having an overview of what types of results are available. Do you have videos? Oh, okay. They also have a blog, and obviously like the products. So yeah, I hope I've answered the question.
No, yeah, no, you have. I think an easy way to kind of summarize, right, is result groups that kind of speak for themselves. Is they're groups of pages that, right, are either product pages, blog pages, that high level category of what the pages are. And then the filters themselves are just the attributes of that group, right? So common attributes for the group that allow your site visitors to kind of drill in and narrow down what they're searching for. So the goal, right, would be to kind of direct them via the high level categories, try and like, the first level filter on their search result. And then they can go into the filters to narrow down and then actually find a page that makes sense for them. Right, opposed to having like 500 tabs at the top for, less than 200, over 500, whatever have you. It's a much better search experience. Yeah.
Yeah. And as you see, if certain groups don't have well, actually, there's this best console ever. I think that was one of our custom results that we've added. But let's say, oh, by the way, there's also the quick search, right? So those result groups will also be shown at this quick suggestion dropdown. So, and we both suggest results. So kind of it's an instant search in a way. But there can also be query suggestions, right? So like if someone starts typing play, we've defined it so that, oh, you probably want, to go to PlayStation because, well, it's a common query, and this would trigger search results for PlayStation. And this is also lives on the result manager, but under its specific tab called query suggestions. And you just have your own curated list of those. You can also check this box and have our search algorithm like collect and see what search queries are getting popular and basically show them automatically above the instant results that you'd have. So yeah, a little bit of a turn from the question, but I think that's also a cool feature to highlight before we end.
Mm-hmm. No, this is awesome. This has been great. Thank you, Alessia. So yeah, as you guys can see, the new UI is awesome. It's much more streamlined. Kind of specific on the dashboard as to your metrics and your site search metrics. Trying to think if there are any other last questions here that I have. No, I think we're good. So yeah, just wanted to thank Alessia for coming on, giving a demo of the new interface and kind of walking us through what SiteSearch 360 is and the platform in general. So appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us.
Yeah, no, thanks everyone who who's watching this webinar, especially up until this moment. Means like you're really, you know, you can take the most of this platform and have great results, and actually demo leverage the real power of this search app, because as you can see, it's so much more than just a search bar. There's a lot of powerful features behind, and I hope this new interface is actually making it a little more straightforward and helpful during the setup.